Good afternoon, everybody. How are you guys all doing today? All right. Just gonna make sure I can see everything. Hello, Debbie. Just gonna move my camera over a little bit. It is so nice and sunny here in Calgary. I don't think it's bad outside either. What are you guys up to? I thought we would take a little bit of a break from Christmas cards and do a little shaker birthday card, but you could totally use this die set on your Christmas cards. That's one thing I like about stars, is that I feel like you can use them at any time. Yes, Debbie, Waffle Flower. I know, they have such great designs. We're gonna do a little bit of jelly plate stuff. Oh, I need my spray bottle like that. It has been a whirlwind today. You're ready to shake up your life? That's awesome. Good for you. We'll start with the shaker and go from there. So here's a look at the little shaker. So you can buy these little shaker covers. You can also use these as you would any shaker, because it's going to cut out this little star. Hello, Rosie. Plus you have, so with each of the shakers here, and there's more in the shop, if you look for Waffle Flower Shaker, all the stuff is going to come up. So this one is the one we're using today, and I've kind of just taped them together as a frame, but you can use the outside to get a large edge or a large star. You can use the inside to get the small star. Then you can place them together. They sure have come a long way. You're right, Debbie. And I used to be really just apprehensive about doing a shaker card because I felt like there was so many steps, but this kind of makes it really easy. And then you can go from there and you feel like you're a little more confident doing all the shaker techniques. So we are going to do some fun jelly plate stuff. I did some jelly plating with some friends on the weekend, and it was so fun that I came home and played, and I thought this would make a really great background for the star. And kind of, you know, when you're playing, you just kind of see, well, what about this? Would this work? So I thought, how about alcohol inking the cover, because it's plastic, and I saw a sample on the Waffle Flower on their shop on the samples, and it might even be, I know Stacy added a bunch of sample images when you click on the Scrap Shotz products, and so it might be there, but it was a green star. And I had looked up this lady, and her name is J.J. Bolton, and she had said she did it with alcohol ink. So I thought, you know what, let's just try it. I think it would look good either way, just plain with lots of stars and glitter in there, or it's just a fun touch. So you can order the covers in the store. There's 3 that come with it. And then you can do whatever you want. The covers give you a dimension. And if you wanted to use acetate and keep it flat, you can also do that. So this one here, you've got the Make-A-Wish sentiment that's with it. You've got these little stars that you could cut through your background, or I've cut a bunch so that we're going to make some little confetti for our shaker. And then these little pieces that they've included in with their shakers are absolutely brilliant. So you'll see with each of the shakers, you get this little die, and I actually didn't know what it was until I watched their video. And what it is a placer or a spacer so that you can make your frame perfect, so it's not one way too far or the other. And you've got these, I cut this 3 times out of white cardstock. So this is this little die. And then when I want to space this and put it together, I'm simply laying these down, and I found I only needed 2. And it's giving me this space to get these perfect. And then I just added a little washi tape to 3 of the points, and then I can go ahead and cut everything I need that needs a frame. And you can just save these and then use them every time you want to make the frame. I know, it's so smart and such a basic you know, die to have with this, but so smart. And the same thing with this. So you've got the little one that's at the edge, and then this one here. But I think that you could, or I guess this one goes right kind of up at the top. And I'm just looking here. This one would go here. Anyway, you're going to be able to figure it out once you get them cut and see exactly where they fit in. But you could also cut these and use them like confetti in your shakers too. So you've got the heart has the with love. Yeah, Lorraine, right? Like, it's like, oh, that's so smart. And I can't believe I did not even realize that. And then we've got this happy birthday circle. And also, I think having like basic hearts, basic stars, circles, you're going to use them for so many different things. So if you have this, then you have this in your stash, and anytime you need a circle, you've got one here, right? So this is the little one that's going to space around the edge. You've got lots of little confettis that you can cut out with each thing. So these are little circles, and it says happy birthday. They are very innovative, you're right. This one here is the Slim Shaker Circle die. So I haven't really researched this a lot, but it looks to me like you have different size circles that cut out and then have the dotted edge. And, you know, you could use these with any circles, and I like having a background that has a dotted edge, even if I'm doing like a focal image and having something in the center. So here I just used a die that I had a little tag die, but this would have been really cute with one of these as your background as well. So lots of layering that you can do. So this one is the star cover. And hello to everybody who joined in. This one is the circle shaker cover, and you get 3 in there. And the other covers and other more sets are in the shop, so it's scrapshotz.com. And then this was really cute. So this is the Christmas add-on die. And let me just open it up and show you. It is so cute. So this will add on to that circle die and gives you a little snow globe. And snow globes are really popular this year. So you do your little shaker. You've got your shaker cover there. And this gives you a little snowy hill. You've got a little background silhouette that you could color in. You could do it as a silhouette. You've got the little base for your snow globe. You can also do an ornament. So you've got the hanger and the ornament top. So this will all kind of coordinate with the circle. And then you've got Merry Christmas in a really fun scripty writing, and then the bow, which you could use for the ornament. You could use it for the snow globe, but I thought that was very smart as well. So we are going to do some jelly plate stuff to make our background, but first I'm going to show you the new kit, which is beautiful. So I'll just quickly show you the backgrounds that I got just from one inking, as well as this one. So I thought that would be fun to play with. There is a 6x6 jelly plate right now in the shop if you don't have one. And then these are the Bountiful stencils from the Fernwood collection. There's two different sets of stencils from Fernwood, and this is the one that I have. They are beautiful, and I really always love Vicky's stencils. I think they're done really well. They're a great price point, and you can do so much with it. So we're going to use this one today. But there's lots of, look for stencils if you're looking for different ideas. They're great to use with jelly plates. Thanks, Rosie. Rosie's got some links there for you. All right, let's move this off. We are going to use some Distress Oxides. So let's keep that one separate. And there's lots of different mediums that you can use on gel plates. They're very, very versatile. And I thought I would just grab 4 colors, and that's going to make our whole rainbow, because of course when your primary colors mix, then they make the rainbow, and it's just beautiful. Okay, so before we get into our jelly plate stuff, and we have lots of little techniques that, you know, we're using some pearlescent medium. If you haven't seen that before, that's really fun. Okay. That they are Waffle Flower, I didn't think was Canadian. Is that what you mean? Maybe I'm mistaken. So this is the Simple Stories kit. So if you are not familiar, does anybody get the Scrap Shotz kit? If you are not familiar with the kits, let me tell you, they are amazing. So if you haven't signed up, you can go to the About information under the kits tab on the website, and you sign up originally for 3 months. It's, oh, Vicky Booten's Canadian, yeah, sorry. Debbie, sometimes like I will talk, but then in my mind I've gone on to something else and somebody comments and I'm like, what did I just say? Anyway, yes, Vicky is Canadian and is amazing. Hello, Sandy. So here is, I'm going to walk you through everything that is in the kit this month. So you would sign up for 3 months to start, and then you go month by month. And correct me if I'm wrong, Sandy, but I believe so. And it's a fantastic price, like for the amazing amount of products that you get, and they're always beautifully coordinated. The design team always shares projects with the kit, so you have inspiration using that kit. So you can follow the blog and the Instagram, and you're going to see all that stuff. So here is this is the Simple Vintage Weathered Garden. It's gorgeous, and I think that you can use this any time of the year. I also love that, you know, right now is a little bit busy time, and you might not have time to get to this, like, you know, in the next couple of weeks, but if you sat down with this in January, it would just be such a lovely kit to pull out, and I think so beautiful to create with. And if you do have time to create with it right now, then go for it. So here is the paper. You've got 12 different papers, so let's pull these out. It's a really beautiful line. And I think any pictures that you have throughout the year, like if you have photos of your you know, your spouse, or you could use this, I think, even for a wedding or anniversary. You could do it as outdoor pictures. I think there's really lots. You know, I could do really any theme on something like this. It's fairly neutral and you could add any colors you want to it. You should sign up again. You love the Kids of Your Month. Yeah, there has not been one that I have seen that I don't love. Like, I think Sandy does such a great job at pulling these together and giving you such a really great deal. You have a wedding photos to scrap, and oh, it would be perfect. You're right, Lorraine, because especially with those neutral greens, you could scrap any photos. I mean, you could definitely do black and whites if you want, but if you had a certain color theme, these are going to look beautiful. So here is a look at all of the papers that are in. There's 12. This is the 4x6 elements. So of course you can cut these down if you wanted to do pocket pages. These are a quick and easy way. Cut them, put them in your pockets. The beautiful butterflies in the background are gorgeous. If you don't do pocket pages, these are also really nice to have to mat your photos. You can put a photo in there. You can cut these words down and have them as titles, or have them under on your page. You could add journaling here. So lots and lots of different ideas. Let me go through these. This one here is the Cherish Today. And how beautiful is that? Even summer pictures, these would look gorgeous. It really is. And then you've got the background, which is the green check, the green gingham, which is beautiful. I love how they have the different greens in there. Here is Beautiful Life. So I think I would totally use this as one background piece and maybe, you know, mat a larger photo. That would look beautiful. Yeah, really great background. Then on the back of it, you've got the butterflies, but with the blue background. It's kind of that soft, almost like a light teal blue. Then this one is Hello Lovely, and you've got some gorgeous florals there. And if you're a card maker, I think this is the jackpot, because you can cut these up. You could cut them to 6x6s if you are strictly a card maker and you wanted to make cards with them, and you can embellish with all the extras. And then look at this. But also, Sandy, are these still available? Debbie would like to know. I believe so. I think there's kits that are in. If you look under the new kits tab, Rosie, Debbie, Rosie has just linked the December kit. So you can go and have a look. So you've got that green gingham, and I love that it's kind of like, it looks like it's weathered or a piece of fabric. And then on the back, you have the really lovely floral, again, with the butterflies. And oh my goodness, this is nice. I love you more. I've barely looked at this. I just kind of quickly, I took some pictures of it. Isn't that nice with the background, the wood background? And you've got even some text in there, and this really gorgeous, like, again, I don't think I could cut this up. I think I'd have to like put a photo here, put a title, and you've got quick, easy, beautiful page. And look at this. Like, I love that they have these splatters, and it just looks like a really weathered vintage paper. Yeah, so nice. Yes, great wedding paper. My daughter is actually getting married in June. So I might have to pick up extra paper because this would be beautiful. So this is 4x4 elements, and these are the 4x4s that are cut It is beautiful. I love those images. And also, like, if you didn't need a 4x4 for something, cut these things out. You have lots of ways you can use them. Or, you know, you can use them for a mini album. So if you guys didn't see the December Christmas cheer mini album that I put together with the rustic vintage Christmas, and I love that. Check that out as well, because that is made with 12 by 12 sheets that I give you the exact instructions to make the Christmas album. It all comes together, but you could use those instructions if you wanted to take something like this collection and make a wedding album. And it's with the flip book, so that might be something you want to look at as well. This one is called Memories Made. And that is so beautiful, just as a background or an accent. And how pretty is that? That's another one that would just be great as the background. That white there. Here are some butterflies, and think like if you were making cards with this, you can cut out your butterflies as your main card, put a sentiment across. Hello, Angela. And then you're done. And look how pretty this is. The class is not virtual, Debbie. It is actually a PDF. But what I did is I took pictures of each page and told you I gave you first exact cutting instructions for each paper. And then in the PDF, I give you each page, the photo of how the page is going to look, and exactly where to place things and what to put it, what placement to use. So you get that PDF when you buy the kit. And it comes with everything to make that Christmas cheer album. And Rosie's just linked it there in case you want to have a look at it. This is the journal elements, really like this. So you've got this whole strip that you could add your journaling to. Isn't that pretty? And I love library cards. There is just something about them. So you can combine these, like you can either use them for journaling, you can add your photos, you can layer them for different looks. And then you've got the pretty colors that coordinate, and these are going to be really great for, you know, putting your photos on, backing them with, adding little accents of color. This one is the Sweet Moments. There's a lot of paper here. You get the butterflies and then the yellow background. And then you have more of like a neutral. Then here are the 3x4 elements. Again, just such great images. And if you wanted to take these and just make cards with these, you could do your background, have this, maybe fussy cut some butterflies or add some of the stickers or ephemera, and you could have a really lovely set of cards if you were giving to someone. And then here's this beautiful blue, more of like that neutral that's going to go with everything. Rosie is quick, hey? She's got quick fingers there. All right, so that's the paper. Then you're going to get the cardstock stickers. So this is the full 12 by 12 sheet, and you've got all of these. I like using the big ones as some really great titles. And hello to everyone who stopped in. And then these ones are also great, you know, to kind of layer. You've got lots of ticket. And we use one of these as well in that Christmas cheer album, if you were looking at that. And so you'd kind of be able to, if you were making an album with this, you could substitute. And I will tell you that there is a beautiful flip book that actually coordinates with this. I'm going to show you in a minute. So it would be beautiful to combine that. Now you also get 6 sheets of coordinating paper. So I'm just going to show you how nicely it goes. We'll just grab this one here with all the different colors on it, and how nicely, so you've got the craft, the white, and then this almost emerald. I'm not sure what the color is because I'm too far away from it. But yeah, looks beautiful. So those are all your 12 by 12s. So you can use them either for your backgrounds, for your scrapbook pages, for cards if you're making cards. Then we have half a pack of enamel dots. So I just tucked the other half in there. You would get half of a pack. And when you are a Kit Club member, you get the first option to buy add-ons at a discount. So you can buy the rest of you can add on so that you buy a full enamel dots if you want. The white is, no, it's just called Basil White. And then the green is called Aspen. I don't know if there's a difference between the marshmallow and the Basil White. I am not sure. Then we've got the floral bits. There's 47 floral bits in here, and this is a look at all the different, so you get all those butterflies and the florals that are in the paper, so it's going to coordinate. You love that they're 12 by 12, yes. These are so pretty. And if you wanted a certain color and you wanted it to match something, like if you were doing weddings, you could completely color those in with some watercolor or some of the distress crayons or something. That would look beautiful. Now the chipboard clusters, you're going to get a half of a pack of that, and I kind of just divided it up. You can buy the other half with your add-on if you decide to. As well, a lot of these items you can purchase separately in the store. But if you love the kit and you know you like kits, then it's a really great deal. So this might not be how you get it, but you'll get something that's similar. You'll get half the pack. So if, I'm just going to show you everything and you would get half of it. They're really nice size and they're really nice weight. So these aren't stickers. You add your own glue or you add your own foam tape, which I really like. Because a lot of times I like popping stuff up, and then if it's a sticker, I would take a powder bag to take the stickiness off, whereas this way you can just use whatever adhesive you want. So they're so pretty, and I love that they look like they've layered all of these items. And then you get these really great effects. So Rosie's linked the add-ons if anybody wants to check that out. And these are so pretty, this beautiful doily. So that would be the chipboard clusters with your option to buy the other half of the pack, but the other, you get everything full except for the enamel dots and the chipboard, and you get a lot of chipboard there. Then we have this sticker book, which this is absolutely incredible. And let me just cut this open here. I really love the Simple Stories sticker books and the sticker books that companies are coming out with now that have so many stickers. It's just amazing. Okay, so you have 624 stickers, so you are not going to run out of stickers. They are really good quality. And I really love that these ones here are almost a matte finish, so you have just this really soft kind of, it matches the rest of the collection. So I'll just give a little flip through, lots of images there. Oh, you have an alphabet set in the stickers. You've got these ones here, which are really nice. Lots of greenery. You could even make like a little wreath on the back of your page. That would look nice. Lots of those flowers. Oh, you have a mini alpha and another medium-sized alphabet. And of course the colors are all going to match. You have all these layers, which these are great for, or labels. These are great for layering or adding dates or journaling. Oh, these are nice. They've got the sentiments that are printed in there. And more sentiments. The tabs, love the tabs. Then we've got little border stickers. Do I place the stickers on cardstock and fussy cut? If I was going to pop it up, but otherwise I would just stick them on the page. I also like sticking things that are like little sentiments. I'll stick those directly onto my photos. These, if you had a circle punch and wanted to give them kind of a backing, you could just punch the backing and put it on. But I think these are fine to just stick right on, because let's see if we take one off. Yeah, it's not see-through, so you can stick that right on your page and that's going to be fine. But if I was popping it up, then yes, I would probably put some cardboard, or not cardboard, but a piece of cardstock behind it. And then look at all these little sentiments that you get. These are amazing. Aw, these are great. And then we've got the foam stickers. So you've got another 66, and you've got that really great dimension that they have with the foam. And they're very sturdy. So really nice. I love using the big ones for titles. And then maybe combining that alphabet that's in the sticker book, and you can make kind of your own title. So that I'm going to be posting stuff on the blog in the next couple of weeks that is going to be inspiring you with the kit. So be sure to check that out. And then I'll just give you a little look. Some of this might be sold out. If something is sold out, sometimes it sells out at first, but then Sandy's expecting more. So if it does say it's sold out, you can email sandy@scrapshotz.com and just tell her you're looking for it, and she'll be able to tell you if it's coming back. And sometimes, usually there's an email link, so it will email you when it's back in stock. So when it's been restocked, you'll get the email, and then you can purchase it if you'd like. So yeah, I think when I checked, the stamps might have been sold out. Just need a drink here, guys. But put yourself on the email list if you are looking for them. You have to rejoin. You'll love it, Debbie. Plus, how fun is it to get a new kit every month, right? And look at these layered stickers. These are gorgeous. And there's been some classes that I've put together with them, and you can actually take the sticker apart and use part of it. So be creative when you're using it, but they are all layered on if you're looking for a quick layered beautiful sticker. The washi tape is gorgeous. So you've got the butterflies, got this one that says laugh more, love more, live more. And this is a little vine. I really love this. I don't know what it is. It's like, looks like part of it's a ruler, part of it's some vintage, almost like an ephemera look. And these are all add-ons. So if you're a Kit Club member, you get the discounted price. And you get kind of the first choice to order when it first comes out each month. The first pick, which is nice. these self-adhesive brads are really great. So instead of having that little metal piece that you used to try to have to figure out where you wanted to poke it through, now they've made the brad, which is cute, but made it adhesive. So very smart. And then you get the little chipboard stickers as well. Now this is that flip book that I was telling you about. So if you wanted to make a mini album with the papers and you wanted to use this, the flip books are fantastic, and they come with 10 pocket pages. You can make them as simple as cutting up those 4x6, 3x4 elements, putting those in the pockets, adding your photos, and then you may want to get more creative. See, the back is so pretty, and make some interactive elements. When do the kits come out, the date? Sandy or Rosie, do you know that exact date? It might be a little bit different depending on exactly when it arrives, but we'll find out for you, Debbie. Simple vintage weathered garden frames. So these are beautiful. So you get the chipboard frames and you can pop your photos in. Something like this would be really nice on those full pages that had those really nice backgrounds. And then you've got a little bit of dimension with the chipboard, add your photo, add a title. This one is the chipboard stickers. So this is a 6x8. And they are really, really nice. And then you have the sticker backing on that one. And then this one is a little bit different than the other 12x12 sticker sheet that comes in the kit. So this one is the banner stickers, and you can see like you get a full banner that will go across the page there, smaller banners here, and then little accents and words all throughout. So this has like a frame that you could put a picture in behind it. And there also is the basics kit. So this paper is going to match exactly and kind of has that weathered look. And those are the colors that are in the kit. All right, so let's get to our project. I have talked a lot. We are going to use jelly plate. So mine looks kind of, you know, weird, but it's fine. It's supposed to, it actually isn't too dirty looking. I don't really worry about that because if a little bit from the last time comes off, we are going to be able to use that on a project. So what we would want to have, we're going to do our backgrounds first. We've got our distress oxides in, these are going to be our rainbow colors. If you wanted to do different colors, then you could choose different ones. And we are going to grab our Fernwood stencil. We have a bunch of white cardstock pieces. So this is going to go on the front of my card, and I cut this to 4 inches wide by 5.5 long. And then this one is, these ones are just cut an 8.5 by 11 cut into 4. So I've just cut a bunch and I can use whatever I need. This is kind of a good way, I feel like, to start jelly printing because it's relatively clean if you're worried about anything kind of getting messy. And it really gives you some great results. Plus, I love having rainbow backgrounds. All right, and then this is the background that we're going for to make our card. So in order to do this. We're going to take I've got candied apple. You can grab any, you could use inks as well. I'm just using oxides for this. And I'm just going to drag it along. So I'm getting a pretty good coverage. That will actually be a lot of ink. So that's going to let us have lots to do all of our backgrounds, but we could add more if we needed. This one is mustard seed, and you can see like I'm not overlapping just to try and keep my ink pads from getting all the other ink on it. If you did get some ink on it, it would be totally fine. Like you could just rub it off. Okay, this one here is broken china. And then we've got the new villainous potion, because I felt like I wanted to add a little bit. So use whatever colors you have. Then we need a brayer. I grabbed a couple brayers. I just have some random ones here. I also forgot I just need a piece of copy paper. Just to have on hand. And then I have an extra piece of cardstock, which I used the last time. You've always used paints on your jelly plate. Yes, and paints work lovely. You get great effects. But you can also use any kind of medium. So this is my trying to set this strategically so it's all within my camera. Okay, and we've got our piece of paper. So not a whole lot. These are things that you probably have on hand. And like I said, there is the 6x6 jelly plate is in the shop if you're looking for one. So what I'm going to do first is, so I'm just taking my brayer and I'm rolling it from where the two colors meet. So here the blue and the purple meet, and I just want to combine them so we don't have this straight line. And then you can take your brayer and you're just going to roll it off. This is going to be an extra piece of paper, an extra background. You do want to have a spray bottle and a rag. You love the roll. I know, like you could do so like some really nice die cuts out of that. You could even use that star. And all I'm doing right here is spraying my brayer, and then, you know what, we'll just go for it. We're just getting off any extra ink, and because the ink is water-based, it's going to react. And just, I figure if we're going to clean off our brayer, we may as well clean it off on the paper and get a background. And I'm just lightly rubbing my brayer, so I'm not doing anything crazy. Okay, so now just want to make sure it's fairly dry, just because I'm going to rub it into the blue and the yellow, and I'm kind of going back and forth. I'm not even pressing hard, and you can see it's softening that ink. And then again, we're just rubbing it off onto our paper. Now, keeping in mind that your color combinations, I kind of put my yellow next to my purple, and that is going to make a brown, because that's what yellow and purple makes. But we can cut up these backgrounds, and you can see that blue and the yellow making the green. So pretty. And then we'll just wipe this off. So we're just kind of preparing our jelly plate background. All right, now we're going to do the red and the yellow and just make an orange. Okay, so that's our plate. And you get so many great designs. And we could move this because that's probably enough ink. Let's just rub it off onto the background. How beautiful is that? So fun. A floral stamp on that roll-off paper. Oh, that is a good idea. Right over top of the ink. That would look lovely. Okay, so I'm just wiping this off so that I'm not, because if I rolled all my colors together, they're just going to make brown. And we're not doing brown right now, we're doing rainbow. I like brown, but okay, so then for our first background, we're gonna lay down our stencil like that. We're going to take the white cardstock that's cut 4 to 5.5, 4 by 5.5. Then I've got just another brayer. And I'm holding it down and I'm pressing it into the stencil. And when you're doing jelly plate stuff, I think the main thing is have fun with it. So when I was crafting with some friends on the weekend and we did a bunch, and I did some and then I layered some, and I realized I'm not really loving the layered look. How fun is that? So that's our basic first print. This cardstock is just regular white. I think it's 120 pound white. So nothing, it might even be 110. So then we pull off our stencil. You can see that pretty color. I'm going to put the stencil here. Now we have two things to print. So we've got this. I don't know if that, we might have to add water to that. And then we've got this one here, which I'm going to place a little further down into the purple. I'm just using my copy paper on this so that I can roll right over it. And I'm just pressing, I'm giving firm pressure just to press it into the background. So we haven't added any water or anything. This is just still the ink. But remember that stencil was on there, so the stencil picked up ink. And the roll-off paper, same thing, just 110 pound. So this is very pretty, just a soft inked look. Now let's try this one. I'm not sure how much we'll get off this one, but using a brayer definitely helps to get it nice and smooth. I probably should have put my paper down first, but that's okay. We'll just have to wipe the brayer off. Okay, let's see. So nothing really on this one, but wait till we spray it with water. Because you can see there's lots of ink there. So we're going to spray both of these. Give them a nice mist with water. Okay, so this didn't really pick up anything, so yeah, it is gorgeous. Let's put it in. And I'm just trying to set it carefully so it doesn't move around, but I know this is going to be like a watercolor look. And then this one here, you don't have to use the copy paper over it. I just find that if I have a lot of ink, otherwise I'm going to probably forget that I should wipe my brayer off. So this is just copy paper, and you can even die cut this. So now let's look and see what we get. Oh, that's pretty. Look at that. So you can get some really nice watercolor effects, and you could use watercolor paper in this if you wanted the ink to move around a little bit more. But I think that alone is just gorgeous. And then let's look at this one. Ooh, this one's pretty. So pretty. So we got, yeah, that's our 5 backgrounds. So this is the one we're going to use on our card. You'd be tempted to use watercolor paper. Yeah, I think it would look nice. That's kind of a nice soft. This one is the one we rolled off. This almost looks to me like a sunset. Then you've got this pretty pattern. You could also mist that with like some a shiny shimmery water, like Perfect Pearls in your water or something. That would be nice too. And then you can just take, you know, then just to take up the rest of the back, I would grab my background paper that we've done this to, and then this is just going to add a little bit more color to this background paper and lift off our ink, because we're done with our ink anyways, so why not just add some detail. Anywhere you see color, you totally can pick it up. So even that is pretty, right? You're just using up everything you have, and then you have these backgrounds that you can go back and do whatever you want with them. And then we'll just clean this off. And you can just run this under some water if you want. Distress inks clean up really easily. So if you've been hesitant or, you know, worried about how to combine the paints or anything, this is a good way to start. And there are so many different techniques with jelly plate printing online. You will never run out of ideas. And that's all I would do. I wouldn't even worry about doing any more cleaning to that jelly plate, because I think why bother cleaning more than you have to, right? And then I just put this in the container that I got it in, and that's just how I store it. So they are fun, and stencils are fun too. Okay, we've got, make sure we don't have a bunch of water on here. And we'll move these over and they'll dry. Okay, now I just have to remember. I'm glad that you found out about them. Hello, Betty. You'll need to go back and watch. Oh, yes, definitely. I'm using the oxides. Inks would work as well. So if you just have the regular distress inks, that would work as well. Hey, Carrie. Okay, so now we have, this is the card we're going to do. So we're going to cut our little border here. We're going to use this pearlescent medium, and it just gives you a pearly, shiny finish, similar to like the opal polish, but this one is a nice true white color. This is really nice too on your Christmas cards and on the snow background. I just have a little sponge dauber. I'm just lightly dipping it in, and then we're going to put it on a piece of white cardstock. So it's almost like frosting, but we're gonna smooth it out nice and smooth, and it doesn't take long to dry. We might give it a little bit with the heat gun, but I'll hold it in the light and you'll be able to see. And then I find with this one here, I just rinse it out with soap and water, and then I can use my sponge with it again. But there's lots you can do. You can mix, this medium can mix with paints to give you like a pearly finish. You can mix them with your inks or your watercolors or paints. So that is all there is to that part. And then if you see it in the light, it's really pretty. It has this shimmery pearly finish, and you've made this pearlized piece of paper, and it is going to last you quite a while. So I've taken my shaker cover, so that's the shaker covers that go with the dies. This one is the star. I have die cut out, I gotta find it now. Die cut out an adhesive sheet. Here it is. To die cut this border. So the same way, we're going to let that dry for a second. We're going to give ourselves a border that's going to be this border that goes around. I die cut that frame so that I would have the exact frame of adhesive to put on the front and back. So I die cut that twice. Now on this card, I just used 1/4 inch double-sided sticky tape, which took a little bit longer because you do all the edges. This was really nice and quick, and you can use any of the leftover pieces of adhesive to do whatever you want. So I had the inside cut out. I could put this, because it's double-sided adhesive, put this on a piece of cardstock, and then on the adhesive side that's on the top, I can cover it with glitter. So lots of different things. Or I can just cut this up and use it as adhesive. So you're not going to waste anything like that. But these are really, really handy. You can back your cardstock and make a sticker with them. All right, so we have this, and you could, okay, so I also wanted to show you this. You can make these so that they pop up right on the background. If you had a background that you wanted to keep like that and you just want to put a shaker element, really easy. You put adhesive on the back of it, put it on, add your shaker elements to it. But we are going to cut the hole in it so that the shaker bits see through. Now, I think it would look fine plain, and I was going to leave it plain, but then I decided I would play around with it. And the first 2 times that I coated it with alcohol ink, first I used the pearls, and the pearls don't really work inside here. I love the pearls on like Yupo paper or papers, but for some reason inside, and maybe it was because I think they just react weird to the alcohol blending, but they just looked weird. So all I did was take some rubbing alcohol, spray it, I wiped the whole thing out, it wiped completely clean. So don't worry that you're going to mess it up, because if you don't like it, you can spray it and wipe it completely clean with a tissue and rubbing alcohol, which is nice to know, right? If you have it the exact way that you want it, then you can leave it. Just going to grab a Kleenex here. But I just wanted to show you that you can use alcohol inks because it's plastic and it's fun, right? If you had a different color scheme that you wanted to use. I also used the alloys and they looked great, the alloys and the regular ink, but I felt like I couldn't see my shaker bits through it. So if you wanted a card where you wanted the dimension and you wanted a really beautiful pearl kind of finish with your alcohol inks, I would say use it because it looked really nice, but I wanted to still be able to see the sequins. So it just depends on what look you're going for. And I'm just gonna play around. I still have alcohol ink on my finger from last night. So this one here is Fiesta. And then this one is Sailboat Blue. And these ones were still in the store. So you don't need to be in a rush because we are going to add alcohol blending solution. And as soon as we add that, it's going to move around. And this one is Vineyard. So we'll do that. And if we feel like we need to add a little bit more, and you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of white under it because it's hard to see there with that black background. So then we take our blending solution and let's just put a couple drops in. This is going to get it moving. I also have a little felt pad and I just have a Kleenex so I can try to not get it all over myself. So I'm going to start by moving it and then probably add some more blending solution. And then what I found was if I added some blending solution to the felt, this is just a felt if you were attaching it to like a, what do you call those? All I'm doing right now is just covering the inside. And it's going to look smoother. Yeah, the wooden handle. These are the things that you would add to that wooden handle if you were kind of doing a dabbing motion. And then you can turn it over and see like how it looks. That actually looks kind of neat, but I want more of a smoother look. So I found just by using the felt, I was actually able to cover the edges instead of trying to blow that up to the edge. And this again, like just have fun with it. My stomach is growling. I did eat a sandwich. My husband made me a sandwich. So look, as soon as you start moving that around, you get this really neat effect. And basically you're moving it until it dries. So it's going to evaporate fairly quickly, but you still have lots of time. So it's still going to move around even with you dabbing it. And it's more of just a, you know, play around with it, see what you get. If you don't like it, you can just spray it with rubbing alcohol and try not to drop it on your project. The blower is really helpful because you can get a really cool effect. So we could go with that. Maybe we'll just add a little bit more pink. Hello, Ellie. And we could even add a little drop of, sometimes the rubbing alcohol dilutes it a little bit, and the blending solution just helps it to blend. So I don't know, let's just play around and see what we get here. That's even cool, hey? So you're getting more of that. I like adding that alcohol to it. You're getting more of that look like if you were doing the Yupo background. So that looks quite fun. And I probably shouldn't add more. This is probably the point where it's like I should stop. I am using alcohol inks, and I'm using them on the plastic shaker covers because we're doing a shaker card. So I almost like the way it reacted when I put the rubbing alcohol. This is the, I think it's the 90%. Okay, what do we think? That's pretty. I think I need a little bit more alcohol. And then we're going to move on. Otherwise, we'll be here all day playing with this. Hi, Wendy, how are you doing? See how that kind of lightened it up, made it a little more translucent? Okay, that's gonna be, we're gonna call that done. I like it. Let's just put our covers on our alcohol inks. So you could do any kind of color combination. Again, the alloys worked great. They just make it more of a matte finish. So just depending on what you want, what look you're going for. Okay, then we've got the background. This is dry now. That's with our Sizzix Pearlescent Medium. We have the shaker star die that we've used our little spacers that we cut out, and so we've got it in the exact frame shape that we want. We're going to run that through our die cut machine. So is everybody still making Christmas cards? Are you working on any albums, December albums? Have you sent your Christmas cards? I actually did get some sent out. I'm quite proud of myself. I have a few more to send out, but I did get the majority of them sent out. Okay, so this is going to pop out. Just checking comments there. And then we can just pop our frame out. Okay, so that's going to be our frame that goes on the outside of the card, on the outside of the star. You're going to end up with a bunch of different stars, so hang on to those because you can make a bunch of different projects after with your stars. Okay, now we need the inside die. So we're going to take this off because we're done our frames. And you can double check which size you need, because if you place, this is the large and the small, and we just need to cut the shape for the star out of our front panel. And I'm going to try to get it centered. So Let's see, I think that looks about right. Okay, what do you think? Look good? It is handmade, so we're not going to stress over it, even if it's off a little bit. And then we can just run this right through. It's my youngest daughter's birthday on the 20th, so she's going to be 10. And we're actually having a birthday party for her this weekend. Sometimes December's hard to fit all those birthday things in. And we decided on a theater birthday. So you have this star now as well that you're going to be able to save. They're not sent yet, but Monday for sure, maybe Saturday, yeah. I still have a few, so I'm just trying to, the last few that I know that I need, I'm just getting them out each day. So let's see here. Just trying to think of what's the best way to do this. This is my adhesive sheet cut into the frame. Yeah, I think there's still, you know, plenty of time, especially if you're mailing within Canada and they are going to someone Canadian. I'm sitting back so that you guys can see. So I'm probably should have found the edge of this earlier. Hang on. But I had more Christmas cards made than I actually thought. Ay, ay, ay. So that was, okay. There we go. I've got the same one on the outside, and here I'm, sorry if I'm off camera, I just need to look right over it, otherwise you know it's not going to be placed in the right spot. These adhesive sheets are actually pretty good though. If you needed to change the placement, you can still pull them up until you've like really put them down. So it just makes it easy, or you can go ahead and use your 1/4 inch double-sided sticky tape. Okay, so what we want to do first, and I found this was a really easy way to fill our shakers. So these little stars I cut out with the little stars that are here, and I just used some of the paper that we made, that pearly paper. So I'm just putting that in. Your daughter's birthday is combined with Christmas, yeah. It's amazing. Like, my oldest daughter is 33, and I know, like, it just seems like yesterday. So we've got some stars in there, and then we're gonna pull out the sequins. You guys will laugh, but these are only some of my sequins, but I bought the bead containers, and I used to work with a company that just sold sequins, so I got a lot of sequins each month to use on my project. So I've got, if there's a sequin apocalypse, you guys can come over here, get your sequin stash. So I'm just going to add, you know, little bits. So if you have a bunch of different sequins, different packs, because what I got my daughter to do when I had all these packs, because I only, you know, would use a few each month, I just took similar sequins and then combined them into the bead container. So, you know, then I have a big mixture. There are lots of sequins in the shop, and I noticed a couple new sequin mixes from Picket Fence. This one I don't think is there anymore, but there are some beautiful ones. So I really like the colors, and this one is Spring Fling. but I always like that they have, you know, a bunch of different ones in each. So I just decided I was going to grab glitter too, but I forgot. So glitter would be great in this. It seals really nicely. And I think that's probably okay for there. So then we just need to pull off. Yeah, so back to the birthday thing. I try to have a separate birthday party for her. She always is very, very excited that Christmas and her birthday is the same month because she feels like she gets like double the gifts. So I figure if she wants to feel like that, that's fine. So I've just pulled off the top layer, and then I cut out the large size of the stars separately, and we're just going to put this on and create our little shaker, which these are so cute. These would even be cute if you can, it's messy right now because of the ink, but if you created a bunch, and then you can make this little frame to cover up the mess, or if you did not have alcohol ink and you just had it plain, you could make some really cute ornaments. Wouldn't that be cute as an ornament? Or some tags with these. I think they'd be really cute. So you can see, like, you don't get a lot of this shake, but you can hear the shake and you can see them in there. So really, even if you had a bunch of sequins that you thought you'll probably never use for anything, I think those would be great to put in something that you've added the alcohol ink, because you don't see them a whole lot. And then if you have the plain one, then you can add lots of little shapes and things for people to see. So then we've got the adhesive on the outside, and then we're just going to pull that off. But she wanted to have a sledding birthday party, and I think it's just too hard to pre-plan a sledding birthday party. So all I'm doing is putting it in, and the adhesive is just sticking on, and this is your panel now. So we just decided to go to the theater with a few friends. You never put up class until we celebrated her birthday. Aww, two beautiful grandbabies, 7 and 5. Those are great, great ages. And then we have our little frame, and I cut out an extra frame just so I could have a little bit more dimension. Also saw that I think there's a big, yeah, the 120. I think this bottle is in the store, and it's been really hard to get it in. I think the supplier just, it wasn't available, or it wasn't, I don't know, but it's in now. So if you like the art glitter glue, now is a good time to pick it up. Okay, so we're making our little frame. Okay, then we can put our frame on top, and it just really finishes that shaker edge. So cute. But again, I think it would look great even without the alcohol ink. I just really wanted to show you that you could ink it because it's plastic, and you can get a fun look. Then we've got some twine. And here, it's funny because I thought, oh, this one will be a really quick live, and we're like at an hour and 20 minutes. But we're having fun, right? We're just crafting along. We're gonna put this around 3 times. This is just some black hemp twine. some scissors. So are you guys taking some time off for Christmas? I started working with a nursery school, preschool, and of course we're closed over Christmas, and my girls are off over Christmas, so just one more week and then everybody's off for a couple weeks, which will be really nice. Okay, we're gonna tie this on. So this Make-A-Wish, I die cut from the glitter cardstock, the memory box glitter cardstock from the purple. There's so many really nice colors. So there's 3 different pads. This one was the frosted glitter. I don't know if this one specifically is in the shop, but there was 3 different pads that had, you know, a different collection of glitter paper, and the glitter paper's very nice and very sturdy. So I like that you get 24 and it's different colors, and it die cuts nicely. So I die cut that with that Make-A-Wish. And Ellie, you're off. You're off. You're retired. That's perfect. It is the best glue, isn't it, Debbie? Your husband is officially retired tomorrow. Well, congratulations to him. So does he have a hobby or anything that he does, or do you think that he will start a hobby being home, or is he always a busy person? Or is he just going to enjoy relaxing and not having anything on the go? I'm just going to put a little bit of this. This is the 3L foam tape. I've used quite a bit of it. I really love it. I love that the backing comes off really easily, so I don't have to fight with it. That's what I like. And it's a nice width. Okay, so we've got our backing all done. Then we can put it on our card. So this one here, I added a little bit of dimension, so I added some more foam tape to the back. So I had a day home at home, and that just kind of ended with, you know, the end of COVID, and the girls are a little bit older, so I decided to go back to work. And I'm working at the preschool that they actually went to as a teacher's aide, and it's so fun working with the little kids, but also like exhausting being at work, because you had, even though I had a day home, it's like I was home, and so I would throw in a load of laundry or, you know, that kind of stuff. And also I wouldn't be, I find I'm just tired from, I love being with the little kids, but they do take a lot of energy in that you're trying to convince them that, you know, they shouldn't do this or they should do this, and you want them to have fun, and you know, and then somebody's crying, and so it's just a different kind of being tired, but good too. I am enjoying it. All right. Good grief. Okay. So that will just give us a little bit of dimension on, a little bit more dimension, because why not? Okay, and then we're going to stand up and lean over, but it does too make me very much appreciate the days that I have, that I can just craft. and my own kids are a little bit bigger, so I miss that, the little kid stuff. And whatever they say is so cute and funny. Okay, now we're just going to put on a couple embellishments. So these little iridescent stars, these are Studio Cadia, but I did find them in the store. So these are, I think, iridescent snowdrops, I think they're called. Or there's a bunch of different Studio Cadia iridescent gems, and so they have a really pretty look. And I think I'm missing some comments, so just one sec here. Let's see. Does it shed the glitter? It does not. So here is the nothing. So it doesn't shed, and these amazing watercolor artists. Right, all the home stuff that nobody has time to do. So yes, you're gonna get him to work doing that. Your foster parents to a guide dog, and wow, that is busy and very rewarding. Yes. The memory box. Okay. Yeah. So here is the iridescent sequins. So these ones, yeah, there's snowdrops or snowflakes, but there's some hearts as well. So they just have a really pretty look. So I find when I'm going to use them, I put them on my paper first to see how they look, because depending on the background colors, you might find that they look different, like if this was a different color card. But I found with this rainbow, you can't really go wrong because it's picking up the pink and the purple. And let's see. So the art glitter glue just helps. It really sticks it down. It's not going to go anywhere. And then these little picket fence sequins. We'll add a couple of these. I have that gem picker, but I did not grab it. So we're just going to use the tweezers. All right. Move that off of there, and then let's just put a couple over here. Yeah, I do like these iridescent ones. I think there's little circles or something as well. And let's see, oh, one more. We'll add one more right here. All right. You are so welcome, Debbie. Thanks for hanging in there. Thanks, Rosie. All right, so here's a look at our pretty card. I think I would make another one and leave the front plain as well, but I do like this. I think it's fun and nice and bright, and hopefully that gave you some ideas to use your jelly plate or start playing with it. Thanks, Betty. And if you have any more Christmas cards, make sure you get it out. We still have, or make sure to get them out because you made them. You may as well send them out. We have our red and green challenge that's going in the Scrap Shotz paper crafting group. until the 15th. So if you have any red or green projects, make sure you upload them to the album and somebody will win a prize. Yes, all callings are beautiful and they work on so many different things. So yeah, just have fun. I will be back next week and I hope that you guys have a great weekend. Have fun and thank you so much for hanging out with me and crafting. I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.